Go.
Since 1960 in America, divorces have quadrupled. The number of single-parent families have tripled, and the teen suicides have increased by over 200%. Americans feel America has lost its moral compass. According to a 2004 Gallup poll, 82% of Republicans and 78% of Democrats feel moral values in America are only fair or downright poor. 40 years ago, that number was 33%. And the moral decay of America did not happen overnight. If it had, there would have been an outcry from society. Each moral concession that we have made was barely noticed with the passing of time. So ask yourself this: what would America look like if it regained its moral compass? Crime statistics alone do not represent the moral condition of America, but I believe they do give us some food for thought. In the 5-year period between December 2003 and December 2008, there were 16,204 murders in the United States, second in the world. As of 2002, nearly 12 million crimes were committed in the United States, more than any other country in the world. In 2007, there were 47,950 suicides between the ages of 15 and 24. That is seventh in the world. And currently, every year, over $10 billion is spent on pornography in America. Now, Americans have grown increasingly uncomfortable and just downright upset with the rise of profanity in younger and younger children. The sexually explicit content and promiscuity in TVs and the movies. This weekend in Super Bowl, it was very easy to see that. The availability of condoms in bathrooms at schools. Now, my own unscientific poll showed that many adults over age 21 feel less safe today than they did when they were 10 years old. Women are taught today to walk with their keys in their fingers as a defense mechanism. Now, according to statistics as well, the use of home alarm systems is on the rise steadily year after year for the past decade. But I think there's a solution to this. If America regained its moral compass, one could imagine a greater perceived personal safety. No longer would we be a prisoner in our own home or in our own fenced yard. Perhaps we would see more community involvement with one another. We'd have more neighborly attention to one another rather than driving home, driving in the garage and locking the garage door and the front door behind us as we go in. Perhaps there would be more community-oriented events with families, with friends. Perhaps less crime would mean that less money is being spent on prisons. Were you aware that in the prisons in America today, it costs an average of $45,000 to house a prisoner for 1 year? The U.S. currently incarcerates 2.5 million people as well. Do the math. We are more than any other country. We incarcerate people, and we also spend more money than the other countries. Some of that money could be focused on after-school education or after-school child care programs. And it's commonly accepted that a higher education or a more highly educated individual is less likely to commit crimes. So I want you to think about this in your mind's eye. How would a more moral America look? Would it have more religion or less? Could single parents who must work to provide for their family count on community help to protect their children, to help raise their children? You know, many single parents feel guilty for having to work and leave their kids. Would that more community involvement with them, would that make them feel more influential? Perhaps we could have more community-sponsored programs to help protect and to educate the children. Elders of society could share their life experiences with the youth and build greater respect for the elders and for those in authority. And no longer would people have to say, well, someone else will do it. They'd actually get involved themselves. So in closing, let me encourage you with this. You can change America by getting involved. Get involved in your community. Volunteer. Become a mentor. If you have a voice, use it. Register to vote and vote. Become active in community leadership. Fight for laws that represent and strengthen the moral fiber of America. Live by example. Overcome the victimhood mentality that pervades America. Is America lost? No. Is it misguided? Yes. And despite a preponderance of evidence to the contrary, America and Americans have good moral fiber. And I challenge you to be the example that is missing in the community. The degradation of America's moral values didn't occur overnight. Neither will their rebuilding. Be patient, but be persistent. And we can change America. Thank you.